Well, like I've said before, if you either the second to the last media chat, I did say that the governor had no other choice but to return to the same family that produced him. As I was aware, I was told that he has made that declaration. We welcome it. We're not shutting our doors. Everybody's welcome for us to work together. But I can tell you, nobody has any other alternative. As far as the state is concerned, it's Tinubu all the way. So we all work together to move the state forward. So I mean, that's what's important to me.
For this singular action, has his sin been forgiven?
I don't know what you mean by sin. I don't know what you mean by sin. If a man we did not write any code for him that you must follow this chart or don't follow that chart. Of course, you make mistakes. And what's important that you realize that you have made a mistake and you correct them. That's what's important. There's nothing like, it's only God that forgives sin. In politics, there's no sin. It's just for you to realize that, look, I don't think I am taking the right step. He has made it to the public to say that he has come back to where he started from. Receive him with all good minds, nothing to hide. We all work together to make sure that we give Mr. President the required votes to continue. That's why we are.
When one man says, I have returned to the family, and another responds, he does not have a choice, are we witnessing genuine reconciliation or the reassertion of political dominance? The answers could determine the future of Rivers politics and reshape the road to the 2027 general elections. Politics is often described as a game of interest, not emotions. So, when a powerful political godfather publicly says his estranged political godson does not have a choice, is it really reconciliation, or is it a declaration of who still holds the cards? The political drama in Rivers State appears to have entered a new chapter. After months of open confrontation between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his political mentor, Nyesom Wike, both men are now speaking the language of reconciliation. Governor Fubara recently declared, I have returned to the family, while the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, responded by saying Fubara had no choice but to return to the political family that brought him to power. These two statements are deeply symbolic, and when examined together, they reveal far more than a simple peace agreement. Fubara's statement, I have returned to the family, can be interpreted as an acknowledgement that politics is built on relationships, structures, and alliances. It suggests that regardless of the differences that arose, he has chosen to reconnect with the political platform that played a major role in his emergence as governor. To his supporters, the statement may reflect political maturity and a willingness to prioritize peace over prolonged conflict. To his critics, however, it may appear as a retreat from the independence many believed he was fighting to establish. Then came Wike's response. Instead of simply welcoming Fubara back, Wike declared that the governor does not have a choice. That statement immediately shifted the narrative. Politically, those words project strength and authority. They suggest that Wike believes the balance of power never truly shifted, and that after months of political battles, Fubara ultimately had to return to the political structure that remains dominant in Rivers State. It also sends a strong signal to Wike's supporters that the political machinery he built is still intact, and that anyone seeking political relevance in Rivers State must recognize that reality. But there is another way to read it. By saying Fubara had no choice, Wike may also be shaping public perception. In politics, controlling the narrative is almost as important as controlling the structure itself. Presenting the reconciliation as inevitable reinforces the image of Wike as the stronger negotiator and the central figure in Rivers politics. Outside politics, however, the phrase raises important questions. True reconciliation is generally associated with mutual respect, compromise, and voluntary agreement. Saying someone had no choice can be interpreted as suggesting unequal bargaining power rather than a partnership of equals. That is why many Nigerians are asking whether this is genuine reconciliation or simply political realism. It is also important to examine why this reconciliation is happening now. Wike made it clear that a renewed alliance would strengthen President Bola Tinubu's chances of securing re-election in 2027. That statement reveals that this reconciliation is not only about Rivers State, it is also about national politics. Rivers remains one of the Nigeria's most politically influential states. A divided political structure could weaken electoral outcomes for key political interests, while a united front would provide greater stability ahead of the next general election. This suggests that the reconciliation serves both state and national strategic interests. Yet, history reminds us that political alliances are rarely permanent. They often endure only while the interests of the key players remain aligned. The biggest question now is not whether Fubara has returned to the family. The real question is what kind of family he has returned to. Will he remain an independent governor with room to make his own political decisions, or will he now operate within the political framework that Wike insists made him governor? The answer will determine whether this reconciliation becomes a lasting political partnership or merely a temporary ceasefire before another round of political conflict. As Rivers State moves closer to the 2027 elections, every handshake, every public statement, and every political decision will be closely watched because in Nigerian politics, reconciliation is often not the end of the story, it is the beginning of a new one. Now, when Governor Fubara says, "I have returned to the family," and Wike replies, he does not have a choice, do you see a genuine political reconciliation, or do you think one side has simply regained the upper hand? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to get our updates as they drop. Till next time, please stay informed, stay connected.
You know you can't fight nature. So I just want every one of you to understand that this is July and it's the peak of rainy season. So weather is doing what it should do. So don't feel bad about it. But coming to the business of today, honestly, it is not my style to be involved in this type of event. That is the truth. Before I accepted attending this event, I took time to analyze what I'm entering into. I don't consider this a groundbreaking because we already had something here before, but somewhere, somehow, it was short-lived. But I'm here because the MD of this MD convinced me with the then Commissioner for Health that this investor, I call you an investor, has the capacity, the willingness, and what it takes to see to the end of this project. And that is why I committed myself to it. I want you to understand that I also accepted to be part of this project because I saw the timeline of achieving this project. I was also convinced that in the next 3 months, the first part of this project will be visible to the good people of Rivers State. So what am I trying to say here is, I do not want to plunge this state into another phase of litigation. Litigation because a lot of investors will come. We have this, our partners are from China, our partners are from India, our partners are from UK. When you finish agreeing with them, they will renege in one thing and they take you to court. Presently, as a government, we have litigations with a lot of companies that is amounting to over 200 and something billion. So it's not my wish to see what maybe other mistakes other people made, and I also fall into that mistake. So my standing here is a commitment to the people of Rivers State that I'm very sure that this project will be achieved in a very short while. What are the benefits of this project? First, we'll be producing in Rivers State. Development comes with production, manufacturing. When this thing kicks off, medical consumables and other things will start flowing from Rivers State. People can even start coming into Rivers State from other parts of the world to make orders. And what will it also create in this system? Obiakpo here will become a serious economic base. Employment will be created. Youth will be engaged. More expansion within this axis. Because we have what we call sub-companies that will also be feeding from this place. And definitely they will look for places around here. So you see, for me, getting involved in this is not just about coming here to cut a tape or to do, is about development of our state. So I want to join everybody to give their support. I'm very happy that the chairman said here that he's appealing to everyone to give this company the necessary support. And that is just what we need. We cannot progress in the face of disunity. We cannot progress in the face of issues that must be understanding. The host community must accommodate the company. Government will also, on its own part, make everything available and even possible for you to operate smoothly. So let me assure you on behalf of the government that you have our total support and our backing to succeed in this project. For the Obiakpo, let me stand on the assurance of the chairman that every other support that you also need is going to give to you. I think for a very long time I've not stood before you people. So let me say something here. It is little of politics, eh? We have made peace in the States. And we have a total, and I am supporting our Rainbow Party, our Rainbow Coalition. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is our president and is the one we are supporting. Okechinda is the governorship candidate that I am supporting, and anybody who believes in me will support. And every candidate that is under the rainbow. For those of you who are saying, Fubara, hey, let's stay. We want to collect something before we run. There's nothing to collect. I am already in the family. I've gone back to our family. So please, wherever you are, give your total support to that coalition. We need to move forward. The time of war is over. It's time of peace. And this peace is taking us to another level. What you lose here, you gain in another place. That is about life. Eh? So please, I want this to be made clear to everybody. So don't go anywhere and say you are supporting Fubara. No. My position is this, and I've said it here and clearly for everyone to hear. If you're not hearing well, use cotton wool or open your ear and let it enter well. I am not party to anything that will bring any form of disunity in this state. I've done what I need to do. For now, we're moving forward. Let me, on this note, thank everyone who has made it to this event. Assure you that in our usual way of monitoring whatever we start, we are coming here in the next 3